Here we go, recording. Glad you guys could hop on here tonight. I think I probably should go through a very brief summary of what I was planning on mentioning last week. That is not what I actually had pulled up. So we have a 3-day event that's starting on the 17th, where you're actually going to be selling the 3-day trials, and it'll start on the 17th, 18th, 19th, and then on the 20th, this is going to be like a, what am I trying to say? It's going to crescendo into the 20th, which is an event that is part of the 20-day thing that we're doing right now, where every day I'm posting on the butterfly page a new video to watch. At the end, there's going to be an event for potentials. And so I decided to do the 3-day event that is also for potentials in the Beauty Inside and Out group that will be covering the products that they're testing in the 3-day trial. And I'll, in that group, have it promoted where you can tag people, inviting them to that one-night event as well. You know, the more exposures people get to something, the more likely they are to finally say, you know, I want to try it, not just as a trial, but I want to try it for a month or whatever. So that's first and foremost. In last week's notes, I also had the link to last week's Monday motivation. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to cover as far as stuff that we missed last week. And actually, I have almost the exact same stuff in my notes again for this week. So if you have not had a chance to read down through the calendar of events that I posted yesterday, that has all of the things that are going on, both corporate and mostly I think that was a corporate thread, make sure and take a look at that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and jump on over here to the video that we're going to watch tonight. And I've actually fast forwarded past some of the introduction part. Well, just Genevieve talking in the beginning so that we don't waste any time on here tonight. Share screen with you guys. This one. That's not the one. This one. Are you guys able to see that? Okay. Is there anything covering up the chat on the right? Can you guys see it? Move this over like that. Oh, the actual browser. To my right or to my left? Okay. Hang on. He's coming. It's hard. I don't know what you guys can see, but he can tell me.
Oh, did you move this over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you want to do.
Okay. Go ahead and show me that. Okay. We'll make sure that it is. I want you guys to be able to see the word. You may have to move this little chat or the Zoom box on your own. I don't know. I'm hoping you can see the words. I will try to compress it. So let's go ahead and start, and we'll figure all that out.
Just tell them there's a strip of people, basically, and just grab a hold of it and scoot it over, and then you can see the.
Then you can see the chat. Okay. I will compress mine. Oh, there. I put you across the top. That worked good. Here we go. If you start chatting, I can't see your chat. So chat to Jetty, and he'll have to tell me if something's gone awry after we start.
All right. So at this point, because
we hear it,
this is going to be such a meaty call, I'm going to turn the call over, and I'm going to let you have it. Melissa, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, they're talking to me over here. I'm going to let you do your thing, my friend, and if you can, because I'm really excited about this, so I don't have anything of value to add, I am turning this over to you, and I will chime in when you are all done.
Yes, please jump in. And can you hear me okay? Are we good?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much for the intro, and thank you just for the honor and opportunity to be here. This is my jam. This is what I love to do. So my name is Melissa Darby. I am a Diamond Ambassador from Little Rock, Arkansas, and I started my Plexus journey almost 7 years ago, which is crazy and ironic because my friends and family, they all call me Mel. But the reason it's funny is because I was kind of a big time MLM hater. Because I had tried one in the past and I liked the products, but there was a really big startup involved. I had to pressure my friends and family. It wasn't life-changing. And guys, I ended up calling it Mel Loses Money, okay? So I was that girl that said, I will never, ever, ever do this again. So I want y'all to just know that if I can say that every single person that is here today can be a diamond and show up. It just takes some mindset and it takes some tools. And that's what we're going to jump into. And I know that most of you guys already know the products, you love the business, but for me, 6.5 years ago, Plexus was really just getting their name out there. Today, I want you to open your mind and I want you to really imagine what could happen if you stop limiting yourself from what's safe, getting those customers, and really taking a step into your business and helping your customers become your next rock stars. I just want to say a little bit about our family in a quick little nutshell. Like I said, never would do network marketing again, ever. But we are a medical mess of a family. My husband has had some issues with blood sugar regulation for years and years since he's a kid. And there's all these words that I want to tell you guys, but what I'm going to say is that I've been married for almost 19 years and I have 2 kiddos. And between my kids, my husband, and myself, we are a medical mess of a family. That is why we prayed for Plexus and didn't even know what we were looking for, but y'all, Plexus has been that answer. I was an anxious mess because of the fear I had. I was fearful for our future on a daily basis because of my kids' health issues and my husband's, and then myself. So we tried a whole lot of different things, but Plexus was the answer. And I just learned that the Slim could really help promote those healthy blood sugar levels. And so because of that, I joined as an ambassador because we're a Dave Ramsey family. Anyone here in the Dave Ramsey world or in the envelope system or living paycheck to paycheck? Anyone? I know I'm not the only one. So I thought at first it was a fad because, again, 6.5 years ago, Plexus wasn't the legend it is now. But I will tell you guys that my husband made me a bet because he felt good taking the products. And he said, I will take these products every day that we don't have to pay for. Here I was, so excited that he actually admitted that he felt better, because that never happened. We tried, y'all, I tried everything. So, but the bet was on, okay? I'm like, okay. And here was the thing. The products were safe for me. My kids were doing well with gut health. It helped me, it helped my friends, it helped my family. So product was safe, okay? But what I had to realize once I saw years happen and I saw more friends and more family that came to us that genuinely wanted to understand our experience and our story, I realized I have to speak this truth. I have to share this business. I may have said never, but wait, I'm saying yes to products that gave me my husband back. People wanted to know what we were doing, and my success came from sharing his testimony. But then I had to step into being a little more brave and talking about our business, okay? And that wasn't safe. That was, I wanted to stay in my comfort zone of getting customers. At this point, y'all, Celeste and Jen, my uplines, they were senior Ruby ambassadors when I joined, okay? So we didn't have all of these diamonds. We didn't have all of this success. We had products that changed lives. And I didn't want to be that pushy person. But what I did realize is that people needed these products consistently. and the cost had to be covered. Okay, so I had to take the scary out of the sale and attract customers to the business opportunity. And that is what we're going to do here today on that next, there we go, perfect. We want to attract your customers to all of the things that are so great about Plexus. And one of the things that we have to do, and again, I know that we're working ahead for some, and others already have customers and ambassadors, but I still want to go back to square one and say that the first thing you have to do, even if the person is ready to jump into the business, is you have to understand their goals. Okay, so here's a simple graphic. You can actually find this in our virtual office under our resources. It's beautiful, it's already done. You want to ask your customer, are you sleeping well? How is your energy today? How is your mood? How is your stress levels? You know, do you have any health issues, or what are your weight goals? So you have to understand their goals, because part of that could be, you know what, I need money. You may be asking about their health goals, but their financial goals can be a part of their health goals, because when we were stressed out about money, we weren't healthy. So finding out not only what their health goals are, but also just wanting to know a little bit more about their financial situation will really help you to be able to make this comfortable for them, because you want to make it affordable for people. You want to share those ambassador benefits right off the bat. And here is just a super easy conversation starter for you, okay? Did you know that you can easily cover the cost of your products every month? In fact, you can even earn money back on the products you love. So for $39.95, you can become an ambassador. You can pay the lowest price for all the products for an entire year. And as a new ambassador, you can get that welcome pack, you can get a huge savings, and you can start earning income right away. So that right there is just easy, and something, if you want to take a screenshot, easy enough. So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the 5 benefits of becoming an ambassador. Okay, and we're going to break this down. I want this to be relatable and simple, and really something that you say, I'm not scared to do this anymore. I am not scared to talk about the business. So I'm going to challenge you right now to make sure that you are not afraid to talk about the business when we get off this call today, okay? So the first thing we want to do is we want to talk about covering the cost of the products. We never, ever want to let people pay for something if they don't have to. Is that right? Right? Like, why? Why would we want people that we know and love to pay for something if they don't have to? Because here's the deal. If you can get the cost covered for people, that is, to me, the biggest goal. Because then you are getting consistent product in their hand. No one is going to turn away something that makes them feel great for free. Okay? And that's where you get your long-term customers. That's how you get them to ambassadors, because they don't just want to try it for a 3-day sample. They don't just want to try it for 60 days. They feel the life change like we did. And they're like, okay, like us, okay, I want to keep this bet going with my husband. I want to make sure that we can take these products every day, but our Dave Ramsey account is not, we are not lining up here. So what happened is I was taught about the opportunity and the cost, okay? So one thing that I want y'all to think about is earning money back on your product purchases, okay? The one thing I love to tell people is, oh, that is a fun fact. Sorry, I just saw that. Oh, wow. What? Sorry, totally distracted, ADHD moment. I didn't even know that. Thank you. Okay, so when we walk into Costco, let me just ask this one question. When you go and you're shopping for your protein shakes for your family, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get me my vitamins, I'm gonna get my kids some vitamins, and then as you're leaving Costco, have you ever found, you know, when they take that long receipt and they get their highlighter up and mark it all off to make sure you're not stealing, do they ever say, you know what, here's 25% of your money. You know what, actually, we're just gonna give you half of that money back. And you can go ahead, you can take those protein shakes. Oh wait, but Plexus are cleaner, they're more sustainable. Oh wait, let's talk about vitamins. Let's talk about kids. Wait, but are they giving you 50% of that commission? I don't think so. I don't think so. And that is just that was that moment for me that I realized, okay, this isn't scary. This is like walking into Costco, but giving them a check on the way out. So you have to make sure that everybody understands how easy it is to earn money back. And that's just by buying the products that we already know and love. Let's talk about the lowest cost and the biggest savings on welcome packs. We all know that welcome packs are the jam, okay? One thing that I love to tell people is I can't even buy a welcome pack right now. When you join for $39.95, you get a one-time opportunity to get the absolute lowest cost on your products. So if you have a customer that's been taking their products for 60 days, they're loving it, that's a great lead-in because you can find out, okay, so how is the triplex working for you? Do you want to add some ease in? Hey, have you thought about collagen? Talk about the perks. You can bring all these assets to the table that you don't have as a customer. So I love being able to really find out what they want, hearing the feedback, and then plugging them into the right welcome pack based on their needs. And we know there's $99 welcome packs, there's $199 welcome packs, and this month you get points, you get paid points for welcome packs. So that is just another huge draw that you can talk to your people about in the month of February, which I think is so exciting. So we want to set people up right. I would say 99% of my ambassadors, maybe 99.9, they may have a stat, have joined with a welcome pack. It's a no-brainer. And not only are you getting business bonuses in that, that weekly Friday paycheck that's so awesome, but you're setting them up to get a great price on product. They get their success guide. They have tools from right off the bat, okay? So let's talk about the fourth thing, weekly bonuses and commissions. So we just talked about that a little bit with the welcome packs, but when I was starting, I had a passion for this business, had a passion for the products, and people saw that. And it didn't take long for me to really find a few people that wanted to join this trend. They were like, okay, I don't even know everything about the products, but your passion makes me want to do this. And then I was telling them about that first paycheck that I got in the mail. And this was, again, I was only doing customers. So when I was trying to wrap my head around our 11 ways that we get paid with our second to none compensation plan, all the lights started going off for me, okay? And I stepped away from being I'm just gonna talk to people about products because that's genuine. No, whoa, hang on. Do y'all know that I was able to quit my job when I went Emerald in 8 months, that I was able to retire my husband, that, I really would love to tell y'all all of the things that have happened in 6.5 years. But the bottom line is that I didn't know how to dream, but people forced me to because they wanted what we had. And that got me going into the business. And then once you catch that vision, okay, once those Friday paychecks are coming in, you can take your family to dinner for Valentine's Day, or you can do an extra thing, and you're getting paid on products that you're already buying. Wait, you can't, none of that happens as a customer. So this is truly a no-brainer. And then, okay, let's talk about $39.95. Who out there has ever bought a business for $39.95 other than Lexus? Anyone? I want to see in the comments. Talk to me. Talk to me about how good it feels to be an empowered business owner. Now, I think that's awesome, but I will say I had some customers at the beginning that said to me, oh, no, I don't want anything to do with the business. I'm so good with the products, but I do not know. I don't want business. No. Okay? So that's a real objection that comes into play. But here's the thing, $39.95, okay? That's where you go back to the Costco part, okay? And you take the scary, hey, maybe they don't want to be a business owner. That's so fine, but maybe they do want to still earn a couple $100 a month on top of making sure that they get those products covered. Because guess what? In December, it's going to be Christmas time again. And guess what? People, it's Christmas. Wait, in December, it's like, do we not plan for these things? Okay, we don't plan for the things that we have to pay for, and then when it comes to what matters, our health, it's expendable, and that's crazy to me. And so I always just want to tell people, you know, I know you're going to pay your electricity bill before you're going to pay for your supplements, so let's make sure for the cost of a shirt at Target that you don't ever have to do that. You don't ever have to make that choice. That's how you break it down. Take the scary out of it, okay? So again, Chick-fil-A, okay? Amazing company. You can't buy Chick-fil-A for $39.95. And when I talk to y'all about Mel loses money, my joining fee was well over $1,000. And I had to take my sample, and those weren't products that I got to use, like in our welcome packs, right? What I love about the welcome packs is that they're products for us. Yes, we can use things as samples, but that $99 or $199 investment is a business, is a website, and it's products that you get to use. For my other startup, I spent well over $1,000. I had to take my products all over the place, wait for them to come back. You guys, this is a home run on every level, okay? So I want you guys to really think about the fact that you can be an entrepreneur, a business owner for the cost of a shirt at Target, okay? With no overhead fees, with no inventory, okay? It goes straight to your customer's home. Then they're gonna love it. Then they're gonna wanna join you, okay? And it's all about creating a connection, okay? So what we want them to do is we want them, on that next slide, we want them to invest in something bigger than just products. You want your ambassadors to feel like that they are part of something good, because you know what, guys? People roll their eyes at this opportunity. I have had people make fun of me. None of them write my paycheck. Just want to go ahead and say that. But guys, we are helping people, okay? We're helping, we're changing lives. That inspired me to want to not only step into the business, but quit my job and make this my life, okay? So I want y'all to understand this is beyond just a small little business, this little thing. This has become an empire and a legacy for our family. And do not discount the power of what your words are, because if you make people feel like they are part of this, and with our One Plexus culture, they are going to want to be a part of it, they're not going to say no. People don't say no to me very much. I do have people say no, but it's people that are generally just not ready yet. And just because they may not be ready yet, it doesn't mean that they aren't ready at all. So that's why talking to them about their goals is so important too. So you want to invest in them. You want to make sure that they feel like that they are a part of something bigger, a purpose. Because if people are freaked out about maybe owning a business, they might feel really inspired by being a part of a bigger community. And our One Plexus culture offers that in a way that no other company has. Again, in my Mel loses money position before, it was cutthroat. We weren't sideline sisters and partners and men of Plexus. We didn't have that. It was very dog eat dog. It did not give you an environment that made you feel inspired to want to do something better with your life. And that's what I love so much about this. So now we want to teach these brand new people that have said, okay, we love the products, we're in, we will buy that business for $39.95. We want to plug them in, okay? We want them to feel excited. You have to plug them in early, because getting in early, making them feel that excitement from the very beginning is going to determine their actions in their business. And I think sometimes we downplay that. I don't think people totally understand the importance of urgency. When you have someone emotionally connected and excited for making changes in their life and seeing a legacy, seeing a financial blessing with other people. So make sure that you are sharing and you are making customer service a priority. And what I mean by that is, you know what, follow their package. And when it gets there, take a selfie with your lean shake and say, I'm having my lean shake. Okay, hey, your package is showing up. Send me a selfie when you've tried your lean shake, throw some collagen in. That's the way I love it. Okay, just making that customer service a priority, letting them know that you care, that you're following their package, and that you're excited. You're going to lead them with confidence, okay? You're not going to say, well, try out those products for a few days, and maybe if you get back around to it, let me know what you think. Do you think somebody's going to pick up a product and even think about it if you talk to them like that? No, you have to lead with confidence and make sure people hear your passion. Speak as if they are already doing this with you. That's always how I talk to people. I will tell you, when I'm talking to people, when I'm hearing about their goals, like we talked about at the beginning, I say, I know that this is going to be something that you're going to love, just like I did. I cannot wait for us to link arms. I'm going to walk through this with you. I'm going to make sure you're comfortable. We're going to break down your goals together, and you and I are going to do this. And speaking that passion is really important because it makes them believe that they can do it, because they know, they've seen that you can. Okay, so then once you've got them in and you've got them excited and you know their goals, you want to add them to a community page. Like, one thing that is so wonderful that corporate offers now is the Plexus community ambassador page, and that's for all ambassadors. So if you're going, okay, I'm new and I don't have a team page yet, that's a great page. We're welcome your people. Okay, so what I do is I have a team page now as a diamond, and we have we have our sidelines and upline, and we're just this huge community that celebrates each other. And my favorite thing to do is to do a welcome graphic with their picture, if they've given me that permission, and welcome them to the team. Everybody is so great about immediately making them feel chosen, special, a part of things. When you walk into a job that first day, people aren't coming in going, hey, high five, yeah, let's do this. The culture that we have is so amazing. And so if you don't have a team page, that is okay. Join the Plexus Ambassador community page and plug in there, because they're going to find out about these training calls, about these welcome to Plexus calls, and it's a perfect resource for them. Okay, let's see. I think we are almost done here. Okay, so we want to talk about how to get products paid for. Okay, so you want to make sure that your customer and your new ambassador understands the Me+3 system. Okay, one thing I said at Super Saturday in Kansas City is the Darby team has over 40,000 members. That's inactive, but think about almost a 7-year period of time. Okay, I started with 3 people. My mother-in-law, who is on this call, I love you. Okay, my best friend from college, and one girl that I shared about my husband's results on Facebook. 3. Okay, do I know 40,000 people? No, not even close. Do I know 10,000? Not even close, but I knew 3. And you have to get a few people excited, because when they get excited and they see what's going on with your team and they see that momentum taking off, they're going to want to be a part of your 3. And then the really great part about that is then those 40,000 or those 10, okay? I freaked out when I had 10 ambassadors. I could not believe it. I had Post-it notes with every single name. All 10 of those weren't my 10. Okay, so you also have to just empower them to know that this is not all on you. Okay, this is about your family, your friends, about your friends' friends. So it really creates, again, it takes that scary away from the sale. It takes the scary away from the business when you get to pick and choose the people that you work with every day. I've never had that opportunity before, and I don't know that I would ever want to do anything else again. I've never had a job for 7 years and stuck with it. So I'm telling you guys, these nuggets and really taking your business to a place that you're ready to grab everyone and say, we are building this together. That is a vision game changer for you. okay? There are some great resources in back office. We didn't have these when we started. We had to we made a Bible. We called it the Darby Team Manual. So one thing that you guys have that is so beautiful is the resource library in your virtual office, okay? If you have been in there, let's talk about it in the comments. Do you use those shareables, okay? One thing that I love that we did not have at the beginning, in your resource library, you click on Start Here Now, and you will get a how-to on how to talk to your closest friends and family. Take the scare out of it, okay? It literally gives you groups of people to think about. It gives you space to write. It actually gives you these resources from Diamonds, these little tidbits of things that they say that help you right away to start making your list, okay? The resource library is the bomb, okay? So that is where you want to start. You want to start making your list. Then you get the rank up to silver, okay? There's more success in hand. There's so much here that you can share with your new ambassadors too, okay? So just know this is not all on you. You don't have to create all of this like we did, okay? It's done for you. So when your new ambassador is excited, you're wanting to get them plugged in, you're wanting to get them excited, you have those resources that are ready and that are consistent across the board. So we have a beautiful branding that everyone can get behind. It's professional and it's at a click of a button. So I'm really kind of jealous that for the people that are starting off, you are getting these amazing tools because I love them so much and we use them all the time. So we have talked about the 5 big things. One thing that I just want y'all to think about is that people come for the products. Okay, that was me. I came for the products. I was never, ever doing network marketing. Okay, I came for the products. Y'all, I stayed for the culture because Leaders Retreat is what opened my eyes to the vision of Plexus, because convention made me feel like I was a part of something so much bigger, something so much, it wasn't just selling cookies, y'all. It was changing lives and having people hug you and want to know you. And the culture that we have is crazy. And then let's talk about the flexibility, okay? I got my pajama pants on down here, okay? And my kids are right there, y'all. I get to do this at home, but also get to be a part of our incredible culture at the same time. People come for the products, but remember that they are going to stay for you. They're going to stay for your passion. They're going to stay for your leadership. They're going to stay for the love of Plexus culture. And they're going to stay because this is a flexible source of income. Y'all, but it's gangsta income without the jail time, okay? It's crazy. So I just want y'all to really be encouraged and not be maybe as scared, maybe take some of the fear out of really stepping in faith and saying, I am going after my dream teamers. I am converting these customers. I am getting my dream team. I'm going to start with my 3 this week.
That was crazy. That was off the hook. Amazing. Amazing. I know. I love that too. Gangsta without the jail time. Wow. Okay. So there was a couple of questions in here that I do think are worth clarifying. First of all, thank you so much, Melissa. And I know I typed it in the chat, but I'm not sure that many of you know this. But Melissa Darby here, 42% of her 30 people in her line 1 ambassadors are gold ambassadors or above. So hashtag crazy duplication. That's what we call that. So what she's telling you, she is applying, and what she's telling you, she's getting other people to duplicate, because if her level 1s are golds, then it means that they are doing the same thing. So hashtag Melissa knows, just to be clear, okay? That is the hashtag of the day. Several of you asked about, well, how do you get your products paid for, right? And Melissa, I don't know if you want to address the numbers or you want me to address the numbers, because yeah, go ahead. Tell us what we need to know about that.
Oh, perfect. Okay. And that's where I was talking a little bit about life happening, and we're going to pay our electricity bill before we're going to pay for our products. So as a customer, you've got those options of retail and preferred. But as an ambassador, once you are buying products that you already know and love, okay, like the Costco whole analogy here, okay, when you spend $100 in personal volume, okay, but hold on, that's not just you, that could also be a customer, okay? So what PV means anything that you personally buy, okay, which is already going to be at the wholesale cost, that Costco discount, or anything that your customers buy, that is all going to count towards your personal volume, okay? And every month you get paid a percentage. It's either 15% or 25% commission on your total volume. And the coolest part about it too is that as you get those preferred customers, which is what I always do at the beginning, get them on for 60 days, then convert them to the opportunity, convert them to ambassadors, you get preferred bonuses on every single product that they buy every single month. And that's how you go from a 15% commission to up to a 50% commission, which is ridiculous. It's crazy.
Fabulous. And also, y'all, every Me Plus 3 is $120 the first month you do it. Yes. And then it is $45 each ongoing month, as long as they have a 100 PV subscription. So if you're thinking in terms of like, well, I spend about, $150 a month in product, that is 3 Me Plus 3 scenarios, right? Or 9 subscriptions. So think 10 subscriptions a month, and you are going to be in a very good place to pay for your products. And that's in addition to the retail commission, y'all. Okay? Okie dokie, artichoke.
It's a no-brainer. I mean, that's why we get everything for our entire family that way. And it doesn't matter if it's Christmas, oh my gosh, it's December again. When did that happen? Or if we have an emergency expense, we are never ever going to not have our Plexus, okay? Because that is a priority to us now. And once people realize that they can have it and they don't have to spend that money every month, because that was hard for us. Okay, that was a big expense. Once we had the freedom to get to try all the other products and things like that, it made it to where it was a non-negotiable. We were getting those products every month. And guess what? 7 years later, and my husband's still getting those products for free. So yeah, he wanted that.
Yeah. So was this action-packed, y'all? I'm telling you, this is why I was like, I got nothing to say. Go. She's like, I just wanted her to get right into this. So, okay.
I'll take a breath now.
I know, right?
Yes, I love you guys. It's been, this is the best. I love just getting to share how it happened for us, because we started just like you guys, one leg at a time. So it's been
well, Melissa, this was incredible with a capital I, #Melissa does know. We will make the recording available, and I know that y'all will want to listen to it again and again and again and again. So you will get that recording. Please be sure to check out the 3-question survey. We tried very, very hard to make these calls meaningful, relevant, and certainly worth your time and effort. We will continue the discussion. I think there is an event in the Facebook Ambassador group. I challenge you to go in there, find the event for today's call, and then post something you didn't know. And then use the #MelissaKnows so that we can get people. Listen, Melissa, you shake your head, but 42% of your first line is gold. Come on, that is nothing to sneeze at. So we want to have as many people as possible. I really believe, Melissa, that you are creating a duplicatable system as evidenced by your numbers. It is simple. It is easy to understand. I know that we are going to be continuing to watch you, one of our top business builders, continue to grow.
Here, everybody, hang on a sec. Did I get it right? Okay. Can you guys hear me? I can't see faces right now. Well, I can see Becky. Becky, can you hear me? Just nod for me if you can hear me. Okay, you can hear me. Okay. Okay, mostly it's okay. I just mostly want to make sure that transferring back, I didn't lose everybody. So in the chat, now that I can pull it up, seeing if there's any questions that we missed here. I would like for you guys to tell me, anybody who's willing to, or can, or, you know, can in a place where you can do that. Tell me what your favorite thing was that you learned from her tonight. I liked hers too. Somebody said that that's their favorite so far. I loved it. Also, I wanted to throw this out there. Tell me if I have my math wrong, but I can remember when Sarah Marble told me one time, and I had never put it quite this way in my head. She said, you just, you know, how to get to Emerald is just find, she gave me a number, 3 people who want to be senior gold, or 5 people. Let me think what the math would be. Anyway, what the math I did just now was if 42% of the people that are in her first line are gold, all she needs is 15 people who wanted to be gold to be an emerald. Am I saying that right? I just did the math off the cuff a minute ago, right? So, I mean, it's not really math I'm concerned about. I know that math adds up if I'm saying it right and if it's adding up with what I just heard. Sounds like it's right. Whatever Sarah Marble said to me, I was already emerald at the time, or I might have even been sapphire, but she said, well, everybody knows. And then she said it. She was like, everybody knows you just find a certain number of people. It was like 3 or 4 people that want to be, maybe it was ruby, who want to make a ruby income, or who want to, whatever chart she was looking at, she was projecting it to her team that if you want to be a ruby, this is how much rubies make, who wants to be a ruby? And then that's who she found that she would run with. And so, for example, with her saying that 42% of the people that she has sponsored in her first line are gold ambassadors, that's 100 each person. If they're all individual people, I mean, all individual they are, because she's personally sponsoring them. So they're all different legs on her team. So when you're looking at the power of 3, zoop, 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 like this, she has the power of 15 going on, or who knows, they're probably way more than that. But she has the power of however many going on. And if each one of them is a gold, then that makes her an emerald, because each person who has 100 points in their line is adding up to 1,500 points. It's not as complicated as we seem to squirrel it up in our head. Yeah, Erin, you fix to say something?
Yeah, well, and the other thing too that is so good to have like 5 people in that realm of sphere is that it gets you your 1,500 points, but it gets you balance.
That's right. Keeps you balanced.
It gets you balance. And what I mean by that is that 375 points of your 1,500 have to be from a outside leg. So if you're just like, oh, I gotta find that one. No, stop saying that. Like I cringe all the times that I thought that, said that, and I've rebuked it over and over. Like, I'm gonna say I want the 5. Like, I want the 5, you know? Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna say I want the 1, because you need to go wide. Like, not like 20 wide, but like Lori said, like 5 wide. You know what I mean? And then it goes that deep. The one thing that she said was really good for me, because I've told this to Lori, is that, you know, me being Emerald almost 7 years, no, 13, yeah, in less than 2 months, it'll be 7 years that I've been doing this. And it'll be 4 years that I've been, golly, 4 years.
Since you turned
Is
in.
that right?
Oh, is that right? I don't know. Don't get me lying. It's either 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, that I've been Emerald. But anyways, what she said was take the scary out of the sale. Like, it sounds cliche, but it's really true, because I've got a couple new girls and they are like, they don't seem scared. If they are, like, they're not showing it to me. And so that's really exciting to me, because in the beginning, I almost think that network marketing does us a detriment. Like, sometimes, like, I feel like when we were, schooled in the beginning, it was like, I know this is scary. It's kind of like what Lori tells us all the time, as far as like, quit speaking that out. You know what I mean? So instead of saying like, I know it's hard to be vulnerable, just say, man, it's so dang freeing, like being honest and real with people. And I know that everybody looks at, people that are vulnerable and think, man, it must be so easy. No, it ain't. Like, but you know that you connect with people so much better when you are doing that. Yes, it's going on 4 years, because she had just become Emerald when I started. Wow.
4
Because
years.
it was April that I went Emerald, and it was April when I started. So it was only it took me 3 years to go Emerald. And I said, no, it took me 4 years. I know it took me 4 years. So it's going to be 8 years.
Wow.
Anyways, my point is, I had always said, maybe it is 4. I am not the math person. So like, whenever there's math involved, listen to Jetty. Like, don't ever listen to Aaron. But what I was going to say was that I always said, like, if I get to a spot where I can quit my job in 5 years, that would be amazing. And he did that almost in half.
Wow.
And so, like, if you are still, like, even if you're at your 5 years, like, have you said, Lord, this is my timeline, this is what I'm going towards, but have you matched the effort? That is one thing I've gotten really honest with myself. I don't mean to like monopolize this time, Lori, but
okay.
it just like coming. But like, I've gotten really honest with myself about how much effort I have put and now am putting into duplicating, and also almost like having to go back through and like reshare my testimony, because I assume that everybody knows it and they don't.
Right.
I've added enough people that people are like, so what do you do? Like, do you just like post on Facebook? Like, do you work at Duluth? Like no, I earn a 6-figure income by doing Plexus, by working as a network marketer, So anyways, that's all I got. I'll shut up.
No, you're good. One of the things I wrote down was, and you're just answering this for yourself, but I wrote down some questions to be honest with yourself if you treat it like a business, and then give yourself, honesty about how many hours a week that you actually put into the business, not any of the other things that can trick you into thinking you're doing the business. For me, in the beginning, I put a lot of time, not more than I would have put into a traditional job, but in the beginning, to get where I wanted, at first I looked at it like, okay, if I wanted to make as much money as I would have made if I'd have gotten a teaching degree, like $3,000 a month or something like that. If I want to make that much money, what do I need to do? And actually, I began to put it that way to people who would join. I would say, what's your goal? Do you want to replace your income? Do you want to quit your job? And I had several teachers and similar type incomes who wanted some freedom from that. Maybe they wanted to stay with their job. Some of them didn't want to stay with their job. Some of them wanted to free up some time for their husband. And I just would take their goals and say, okay, this is the rank you need to be then. This is this, and we mapped it out. This is what it's going to take. And when you have several people working toward common goals, that's how you begin to rank up. And the simplicity of it the simplicity of it just really comes down to, if you want it, you will have to work for it. I realize. The other thing I wrote down, though, and these are one on top of the other, is I wrote, who treats it like a business, who treats it like a hobby, and this is all just soul searching for you. How many hours a week do you give to a different job, versus how many hours a week that you give to this? And I can remember a few years ago sitting down and having a conversation with a girl who called herself stuck at senior gold. She's like, I'm just stuck at senior gold. And she had quit working the business for over a year, like literally hadn't done anything, and was still stuck at making $2,500 a month. Stuck. And hadn't worked it. Like literally, I was tagging her in posts. I was asking for testimonies, tagging her in posts. It looked like she was posting about Plexus if you went to her wall, because my posts were showing up on her wall once or twice a week. Hadn't posted a word about Plexus in over a year, and was making $2,500 a month, stuck at senior gold. And she was just down about it. She was just like, I'm just stuck. And I'm being funny now. I'm kind of like mocking it. But the fact remains that I told her, I said, well, do you ever get stuck at the other job that you have? And she's like, well, that's just my 40-hour a week. I was like, right. Imagine if you gave 20 hours a week to the job that's for a year been giving you almost $3,000 a month, giving it to you because she wasn't doing anything. She got to senior gold, got stuck. I don't know what got in her head, but she told herself something. And then she walked away from it, but she didn't walk away from the paycheck. And then I basically have inherited her team. She's still there. She's there. I've inherited her team. I have kept her team going, but she's stuck at senior gold. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, not any longer. I mean, after a long enough time goes by and you do nothing, then that can start to taper off. So, but the loyalty, and that's the word I used with her, because she was the kind of person that I figured loyalty would resonate with. I said, I'm just saying, I don't know of another job in the world that would be as loyal to you when you are absolutely giving nothing in return. And that's the beauty of network marketing. It's the part of the income plan that I fell in love with in the beginning, is the fact that you can start something and then you can keep it going by coming over and start stoking a fire that you don't have to constantly go out looking for new kindling. You can come over and stoke the fire a little bit, keep it going, make sure everyone is tended to. Are you okay? Are you okay? It's like waitressing. How's your water? Are you okay? Are you okay? Just checking in. How are things? Right? But you're not having to make the meal all over again. And I'm talking to you guys about this because I don't talk about the business opportunity real often, but it's pretty cush lifestyle if you decide you want to go for it. If you decide, look, I'm not going to let fear hold me back. I'm not going to let whatever hold me back. And like I think Melissa said something about, I decided not to pay attention to anybody who doesn't pay my bills. If that is an area you struggle in, I highly suggest that you watch Brene Brown. Any of her videos seem to be very beneficial about getting over like the opinion of people. That would be my first go-to. Then I wrote down, this is before we listened to the video, I had written this down. I wrote down right brain versus left brain. And I know what I was wanting to talk to you guys about, right brain versus left brain, because I had a conversation with a friend of mine earlier. We were talking about miracles. I was discussing the fact that often people who are right-brained are attracted to left-brained people. I'm very right-brained, which is more in tune with like the artistic side, typically kind of messy. And explores thoughts and feelings and emotions and all this instead of data and the types of things that my husband is more into. The thing I have learned from really studying that aspect, and I go into it deep when I do breakthrough training, but I'm just going to touch on it tonight, that if you have something, if basically logic is going to tell you, I want to explain really quick. So your right brain, in my opinion, the way I look at it and feel let it translate the best, is the right brain is really connected to spirit, to heart, God, miracles. Left brain is what locks your spirit into a body. So your left brain keeps you safe. In other words, it says, girl, don't touch that oven again. You burned yourself last time, which is good. It says, girl, don't walk out in traffic. You could get hit by a car. It protects your body. When it dominates your life, for example, girl, don't get up and sing karaoke. You embarrassed yourself last time. Then you start going, oh, I don't want to try new experiences. Don't ask a person for the sale because remember you got rejected last time. And the thing is, the power struggle between the right brain and the left brain, I can usually look at somebody's stuff they have going on in their life and tell you which side of their brain is winning. Because the left brain remembers and reminds. It remembers the last time that you did something embarrassing. It remembers the last time you got hurt, and it reminds you of it so that you don't do it again. And if you live from the place of the left brain, you're canceling out the opportunity to flow in a miracle stream, because logic and miracles are contradictory to each other. You don't ever look at something that is miraculous and go, oh yeah, that's absolutely logical. That makes sense. Miracles don't make sense. So if you want your business to be on the miracle track, you have to spend time every single day intentionally disconnecting as much as you can from the left brain aspect of your life. I can also usually tell you when people take my breakthrough class, those who start doing heart coherence as a daily practice and keep doing it. Heart coherence is where you wake up, do gratitude every morning, focusing on your heart. Almost always when somebody comes to me a year later or 6 months later and says, this is going on, help me, I can usually always say, are you still doing heart coherence? Just curious. And they're always like, oh, forgot about that. And they cancel it out and they think it's not important because it seems so insignificant. It seems like 3 minutes of insignificant yoga or something. I don't know what people connect it with. For me, it changed my life. And usually I can get people back on track by saying, start there. Start with disconnecting every morning, because you wake up, if you're human, you probably wake up with a list in your head. Okay, first get up, then brush my teeth, go to the bathroom, put my shoes and socks on. That's your left brain going through the motions of things that you have to do to get ready for work or things you have to do to get ready for the day. And it's almost 100% monotonous, mundane. The same thing I did yesterday, the same thing I did the day before that. Do it again, repeat, boring, safe. I mean, you're not going to get rejected putting your socks on. You're also probably not going to see a miracle. So heart coherence basically breaks the pattern of starting your day that way and setting your tone for your day that way. Setting the tone of monotony, bad news, more bad news, struggle, by shifting the atmosphere, we somehow believe, and I'm really, 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 really becoming online more in tune with what I'm about to say to you by practicing all of this every single day. We really have to realize that a lot of the things that we take and place blame on other people, this is where it comes in, and it's a mirror, it's a hologram, whatever you want to call it. When you start praying for the people who have wronged you, cheated you, all these things, life changes for the better. And when your life changes for the better, it attracts more of that into your life. And so it's interesting that the two things that I had, are you treating it like a business, and how many hours a week do you actually give it? That's an honest question to ask yourself. Tell yourself the truth. It's also a very left-brained question, because you immediately go into either kicking your own butt or adding and subtracting or whatever. But then as I begin to teach you about the difference between right brain and left brain, I had people have sent me t-shirts and stuff that have this on it, where they've quoted me for saying, it just came out one day, a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. A grateful heart. Gratitude, it's a magnet for miracles. Waking up every morning with something different than the mundane, something different than the left brain, something different than one of my favorite movies and one of my favorite soundtracks is from Hope Floats, and there's a song called Chances Are, and there's a line in there that says, all the rules of logic don't apply. And he says, I can't think of the guy's name right now, but he says, all the rules of logic don't apply. And he's talking about love, which love, honestly, I mean, the more I look at life, the more I realize that finding love outside your unconditionals, like your children or whoever you seem to fit with the unconditional. Some of you may say unconditional to your parents or whatever. Finding love outside of that is a miracle. When I see that, I think that's basically a miracle. People are so we're wired selfishly. So when we can actually make something work, and that's what the song he's talking about, chances are, and then he talks, I mean, that's the name of the song, but then he starts talking about the fact that all the rules of logic don't apply. And I believe everything that's miraculous in people's lives. You could take Melissa Darby, I could interview her, and I could pull out of her where the miracles are. I could say, are there miracles in this area? What do you do that causes the miracles? Okay. What do you do that allows the miracles? What do you do that's in tune and alignment with the miraculous? Okay. Hang on just a second. I liked too when she said that you can spend the money for a shirt at Target or start your business. I like that. I'm going to answer what Linda said here. She says, she talks a little bit about, she says, she's just being honest. I know I've not been making the efforts, going on 4 years for me. I have not made it like a business, but treating it like, oh yeah, I need to reach out to people. Okay. That's what I call doing like afterthought. Like, oh yeah, that event is coming up. I haven't, a flipping the switch in your mind, I believe, and maybe I didn't realize I maybe was already answering your question, but heart coherence, I believe, would be a huge shift for you. And even if you need somebody to hold you to accountable until you make that an intentional practice in your day, anything that you can do to switch the frequency, the vibration, vibes in your day-to-day life, just the conversations that you're having, to be more uplifting, and also whatever you're telling yourself in your head, like struggling to get back out there, I would switch that in your head. I would say, this was a breeze the first time, it'll be a breeze now. Because I think we get stuck in what we're telling ourselves. I felt like her honesty there would probably apply loosely to lots of people maybe who were needing an answer to a question like that. So I'm answering it, not being too specific. Okay. Hope that was helpful, and I appreciate your honesty. So yes, Bob Seger. I love that song too. I couldn't think of, people say Jetty looks kind of like him. Bob Seger, I think, unless I've got that messed up. I think that's right. Okay. And also, I'm not skipping over any of these questions. I feel like maybe I've already answered them, and you may not want me repeating, but I didn't realize the questions were there. But I believe that the heart coherence is the answer of how to switch. I feel that the safety zone is the left brain, and that is, sorry, just read Aaron's comment. The safety zone is the left brain. It's that, it's like you get on a train and the train takes you from one place to the other rather than a road trip. Train is on a rail and it's not ever going to change. Like nothing about, and I feel like so many of us have maybe been on a train and we would rather be able to take a road trip and like take exits and do these different things, give more spontaneity to our day in and day out, have less of a Truman Show experience. Do you guys know the movie I'm talking about? I don't want my life to be like the Truman Show where it's like everyday predictable, or Groundhog Day or whatever, where it's just like, and I've started telling people, I do sort of like, it's not official counseling, but I counsel people all the time. And my new go-to phrase is, we'll try something different. And I'm sure that's thrilling people to hear that from me, because they're like, what? And I'm like, well, what happens is we get stuck in a rut. And then we start associating everything with that rut. And I'll go back to Linda's comment and say, where she's telling herself, it feels like this, and you're associating things probably with the rut. You have a choice to associate things in your mind with not the rut, but you have to get off of the train. You have to get off the train and say, I'll just drive my own car. I am ultimately responsible for my own journey. I am not going to blame anyone else. I am ultimately responsible for my happiness. I am ultimately responsible to choose to let go of things that are bogging me down. I am no longer comfortable in a cocoon. I am going to get my wings. I'm ready. I am ready. In fact, this is making me think of something that Erin sent me this week. Hold, please. She said she copied this from a class that she's been taking, or I may be categorizing that wrong, but I think it's a class, an online class. If you woke up tomorrow and God gave you the business, the size that you wanted, the influence, the size that you wanted, the platform as big as you wanted, the promotion that you desired at work, would you be able to handle it? What do you do when you are in a season of life that can't support the life that you want. When she sent that thing to me, I was like, that very much resonates. If I woke up tomorrow and it's, let's say the stadium vision that God has given me had arrived, like it was here. He's like, if he knocked on my window and said, girl, that stadium is outside your window. All you need to do, girl, is show up and do the thing that you know you're supposed to do. Would I be like, I'm not skinny enough? Or would I be like, I don't know where my essential oils are? Wait, I need a friend first. Call somebody. Oh my gosh, would I panic if destiny showed up for me? And then you have to go, okay, you have to look at the valley that's between that scenario and where you are right now and say, what steps need to happen if I think it's going to happen in a year? What steps need to happen so that I don't go into panic mode if I'm called to be a leader? If I'm called to be a leader, do I need to take a class? By the way, for many of us, the only class that we need to take is heart coherence, gratitude in the morning, every morning. It's like the very best class you can take because you begin to become in tune with yourself instead of in tune with everything externally. Like external is screaming at us all day long. Everything, everywhere you go, all 5 of your senses are picking up on other people's everything. And I know that's true for so many of you on here because so many of you are empaths, healers. You have an intuitive way of linking with the external, but you have to do something for you. Keep your battery charged. And the best way that I know to do that this side of heaven, I don't know what it'll be like there, but the best way I know to do that here on this earth is get to know yourself minus social media. Get to know yourself minus your relationships. Get to know yourself minus being a mom, minus being a wife. Who are you? What actually interests you? Who are you without external influence? Who did God create you to be? Because every relationship that you're in, I'm talking about friendships, online relationships, romantic relationship, every relationship that you're in has the tendency to tell you who you are. What they see you reflect has the tendency to tell you what to be, what to change, all these things. But the truth lies somewhere inside you. And the change, the switch for me and for many people who took my advice came with a 3-minute change every morning. In fact, for those of you who are like, what the world is she talking about? We're going to do it really quick. I'm going to find me a song. Whole tones, I suggest highly. I'm going to play the Key of David. For me, I'm responding to Jan here. For me, the journey of finding who I am has been, first of all, the most rewarding journey because I spent my entire life up until I figured that part out, letting other people mold who I am. Have you ever seen the movie Runaway Bride? Where, I really identified with that. I watched it and he's like, Richard Gere is asking her, how do you like your eggs? And she's like, I don't know how you like your eggs. And he's like, no, how do you like your eggs? And she realized she always just went with the flow. And and that was not just the eggs, it was everything. Like she would make friends And then whatever they liked to do, if they like to go concert hopping during the summer, or if they like to go to art festivals, or if they liked to stay at home and watch movies, she just melded into whatever they liked. And that is very tempting for a person who is a pleaser or who finds love by pleasing. Finding yourself is the very best gift that you can give yourself. So even if it makes you, honestly, Jetty will tell you, I mean, he didn't know what he was getting in. He didn't know the mess he was stepping into when he got married to me, because I can promise you, when we first got together, I was like, you like what? I do too. Whatever he liked. And over time, I'm sure, I mean, I was the dream girl, right? Like, she likes all these things. One of the few things that I remember like putting my foot down about was camping. That's something I hated. I did not want to go tent camping. But a lot of things inside me wanted to say, yeah, I'll go tent camping, whatever.
Dreams crushed.
What? Oh, yeah, Jetty just said his dreams were crushed because I wouldn't go tent camping. Actually, the first time he asked me to go tent camping with him, I was about 4 months pregnant, puking every morning, and that was when he decided to ask me. Brilliant, right? Anyway, as I started to, in the last few years, like literally, we're talking about just the last few years, begin to really dive inward and figure out who I am, I'm sure it has been an awakening for him, because sometimes I say, well, actually, I'm going to do this instead. Or, you know what? I actually like crunchy peanut butter. I've always preferred crunchy peanut butter. So when I'm shopping, if you want the other, I'll get it for you, but I'm getting myself. And also, I think ketchup goes in the fridge. You can put it in the pantry if you want. We need 2 bottles. Whatever it is, I know that sounds like silly stuff. And I compromise on the silly stuff. Like, I'm joking about the peanut butter. I'm sort of joking about the ketchup. But what I'm saying is, until you really know who you are, your happiness level is going to be determined on how happy people are with you and how you model their ideal in a relationship. I mean, life-changing for me. And going inward, by the way, church often will tell you, oh, don't go in. There's nothing but dirt and evil there. And that is a lie. That is a lie. If God made us dirt and evil, I don't know why he bothered. So going in is not bad. Asking yourself who you are and what you relate to and what is important to you, why core values, why they matter, and also becoming into coming into alignment with releasing of negative emotion. And I'm going to tell you right now, you set yourself up for resentment if you try to please all the time. You set yourself up for resentment because they just think you're being nice, or that you are nice, or that you do like scrambled eggs. And then when you're like, all these years, I did this and it was for you. And then they're like, I had no idea. Like, they don't know. And I'm talking about a lot. And the reason I'm saying this is, it seems like a really odd topic, but I think a lot of you, this would probably be something that resonates with you. There's something about wife and mom that makes you feel like you have to be that first instead of you. And there's something about church, not the church as in the body of Christ, but something about religion that will try to tell you, oh girl, don't look inside. You're going to be scared of what you find. The fact is, the only way to uproot the things that are stopping your progress, take out the things that do not connect with spirit, the only way to do that is to look inward. And so that's why I'm not telling you to go into self-examination mode. I'm just telling you, start with gratitude and begin releasing things that are negative. As you release, by the way, healing work with people, and this is what we're going to talk about right now, doing healing work with people with the simple concept. And now, not only it's no longer just a simple concept, it works. Figuring out the trigger point, like the alarm button in somebody's body, like which one of your body parts is screaming at you. Now look up and figure out what your body is trying to tell you, what emotion you need to deal with or let go of. Let go of it, and then replace it with the opposite to come into alignment with God's purpose. Whether it's a relationship, a situation, whatever it is, an emotional, like archaeological dig that you're doing, and people get healed. People get healed. I had a girl today who got healed by, first of all, she had something that was literally constricting her intestines for 6 weeks, excruciating pain. My advice for her was, first of all, I said, first of all, whatever you think that is, she thought it was some sort of tapeworm, or I may be calling it the wrong thing, but she thought it was a worm. And she said, I think it's constricting. And I said, first of all, you have dominion over that. So tell it to let go. And secondly, thank it for whatever it's trying to tell you about the emotional blockage that you have put up. And as you begin to deal with that, and in a day's time, y'all, she messaged me while Melissa Darby was talking. She messaged me and she's crying. She's like, it quit. It went away. Dealing with her emotional baggage, telling it to let go and thanking it, because what it was doing, we kind of know this about steroids and probio. It was trying to tell her there's a problem you need to deal with. And right now, I believe we're in fast forward with this stuff. I believe a lot of people are, if it hadn't gotten your, I'll put it like this, if it hasn't gotten your attention yet, it may be flaring harder right now. There is an atmospheric thing going on that I believe is causing people to be, I'm trying to say, causing people to have to look in the mirror harder right now and let go of things more right now. There's more where you're going, oh, emotional pain, oh, physical pain. And I'm just going to tell you, if you're ready to let go of it tonight, I don't see why not. If you know of something in your life, someone you need to forgive, I can almost guarantee it's connected to if you have physical pain in your body somewhere, or maybe even your vision or your ability to hear. There are all kinds of things connected. You've probably heard me say the phrases talking about, I don't want to see that anymore. I don't want to hear that anymore. Don't talk about that. I don't want to hear it. And whether you're saying it or thinking it, that it literally can begin to blur the eyes, close the ears. I've had a lot of people recently reach out talking to me about shoulder pain right now. Lots of things going on that need to be let go, let go, let go. So right now I'm just going to kind of move into, we're all going to do heart coherence, and we're going to do it for a literal 3 minutes. I'll guide you through it. I'm going to wait until the clock turns so I know it's actually 3 minutes. You're going to put your finger here, and that's just to keep your attention focused here in your heart. And we're going to start breathing in and out very slowly. You can even hold the breath go in for just a few seconds, hold it for a few seconds, and then release for a few seconds. And ideally, I haven't quite started yet because I'm waiting on the clock to flip, but ideally you're going to begin to focus on something that's going to bring a smile to your face. Lots of times maybe your pet would be maybe a grandbaby. Okay, here we go. It just flipped on us. So I'm going to be quiet. Breathing, Focus on your heart. And just we're going to begin to lift up gratitude. Try to keep your mind focused. Right now, we're going to even thank the alarm points. If you have something specific, like if it is a knee or something, we're going to thank the alarm. Right now, we're going to say thank you for whatever you've been trying to alert me to. My intention now is I'm going to Google, I'm going to research, I'm going to figure out what's connected to that. Thank you for alarming me that I'm carrying baggage that doesn't belong to me. Okay, 3 minutes. That was 3 minutes. Now, Holy Spirit, fire fall right now. God, as we lift up to you, Lord. And as we just release anything that doesn't belong to us, as we release the old story, like whatever, I'm just saying, as we are born, I know that there's probably some sort of agreement to a tragedy story. I mean, we're all going to walk through it in some shape, form, fashion, but I am unzipping the tragedy suit right now, and I'm stepping out of it. That's an old storyline. It no longer lines up with my future. And because of free will, I have the choice to do that. I'm going to say, nope, not interested in that old storyline. And that is something else I'm grateful for. That I can step out of that story. I no longer have to identify as a victim. God, we just lift up so much gratitude tonight. And we release pain connected to these emotional traumas right now in Jesus' name. In Christ's power, we release. I command a release of pain, of inflammation. I release baggage. I command it to go. And we choose to replace it with freedom, with acceptance of ourselves. We choose to partner with unconditional love for ourselves. God kind of was in my ear earlier about the difference between restore and revival, and I don't think those words that echo something of the past, like restore and revival, they don't necessarily line up with a new wine. God's doing something brand new, a brand new thing. I say, bring on the new. I don't want to be just restored. Bring on the new. I'm stepping out of that story, and I don't even really want the story restored. Relationships, perhaps, but I want to be lined up and in receiving position for the new, not just revival. That's as in like something that was a long time ago. Not just that, God, but we're lining up with your truth, with the new wine and whatever you want to pour out on us. And if that means leaving my baggage behind so that I can receive and so that I can give, so that I have something to offer, I leave it behind. I no longer identify with the story I've been telling myself. I identify with freedom, your truth about who I am, the purpose in my life. Release, just let it go, let it go. Do something prophetic if you want. I mean, if you want to break something off of you, there is nothing wrong with coming to God like a little kid and saying, get this off of me. I want this off of me. I want it gone. I don't identify with it anymore. It's gone. I'm releasing it, transmuting it to light. Like God turned it into sparkles, whatever, but I don't want it anymore unless it is sparkles. Woo! God, let your refining power like seal this deal. You know, like not something we trample back into tomorrow. May that be my old life. I mean, it's something we lift up gratitude for teaching us what it came to teach us. But we turn and we walk in truth now. We walk in light. We command angels to do your work, Lord. Truth. We walk in truth. We walk in light. We walk in harmony. And we walk in belief. Not renewed, not restored. Brand new. Brand new belief. God, I'm willing to let you and you alone change my whole belief system. Literally. God, if you come and tell me that everything that's ever been taught to me in religion is inaccurate, or if you want to pick and choose, God, if you want to retrain me to your truth, I am not only willing, I am ready and excited. I leave pain as part of my old story. I leave fear of success as part of my history, but not part of my future. I leave unforgiveness in the ditches. Like it takes too much energy to have to drudge that stuff around like it's grabbing me by the ankles and I can't move my feet. I say, no, I want to run. I want to do glory laps because I am so set free. I don't have to protect my heart. My heart is divinely protected. I don't have to hold a grudge and make sure people know who wronged me, who didn't do me right. I am protected, and I no longer attract negativity, victim stuff into my life. God, I line up with a new identity, a new wine, ready for the miraculous. All the rules of logic don't apply. Release. Blow it out. Blow it out. Release, release, release. Sweating over here. Had someone, I feel like I'm supposed to tell another story. I had someone who used to be on these calls all the time tell me she went through like, I think a bladder surgery. Came out of it and was having all kinds of complications following it. All kinds of complications, like excruciating pain. And one night on one of our calls, I suggested that you focus on whoever, like if there's someone, I didn't know her story really. I suggested that you focus on whoever you have not forgiven. And in the instant she gave the doctor, the pain left. No more pain. And it's like she doesn't have any more pain or any more complications. Releasing people from this prison that you try to hold them in that doesn't really do them any damage anyway. Release. It's a form of control to try to continue. It's like do you even have control over your own life, your own heart, your own whatever, to try to keep someone held accountable? You can choose to let it go. Forgiveness, some people get it confused and think they have to call the person and say they forgive them. It's not that. It's for you. Let it go. God, I trust that you protect me. So we don't get pages like webs. What specifically, what are you asking about? You mean to the pain connected to emotional roots? Okay, I'm just going to be very candid here. This may be upsetting to someone, but I'm going to be very candid about what I see. It's 9/11 right now, so just keep that in mind while we're talking about this. I believe that I don't know what you call alternative. I believe that alternative communities have done more research in the connection between emotional problems and how they affect us physically. And therefore seem to have the best, now I'm not saying they go about it the best way, but they seem to have the best understanding of what's going on within the body based on emotions. So you're not likely to pull up a church site that says, girl, if you if you are struggling with bitterness, it's going to come out in the form of a wart on your arm. Okay. Not that that's not right. Those two things don't go together, but you're not going to find a church telling you that. So I have found the majority of information that I find like this connected to things like oils, essential oils. Lots of times you can find something, those are safe-ish type websites. You can use the word metaphysical. I'm not pointing to people to specific websites because I'm trusting, like I always do, that everyone is an adult and can think for themselves and can go inward to find truth. So if you Google something like metaphysical roots, emotional, physical pain, that type of thing, use Google until you find something you're comfortable with. I am far from an expert on this, but I also don't let that stop me from watching people get healed when we use the information. So if you pull up pages and you see a word that you go, that's what happened to me in the beginning. Sometimes you have to muddle through it because the church hasn't done the work. You know what I'm saying? And I am the church, so I'm doing it with what resources I can find other places. So I wouldn't have known for sure if this stuff was true until I started applying it. And we're not doing crazy stuff with people. I mean, if I tell someone, okay, so if you have, you know, if it's connected to your ears and you've been walking around saying, I don't want to hear about it. I got that from maybe a website that wasn't the church, but I can say, Jesus, we cancel that. We rebuke that. And instead we say, thank you for alerting me to probably an emotional root that I need to deal with, because I can tell you whatever you were saying you didn't want to hear about was probably something that you're avoiding dealing with, first of all. And also the word curses that you're piling on yourself every time you say, I don't want to hear about it, or every time you say whatever it is that your phrase might be, or whatever phrase that you're playing in your head. Lots of times something to do with legs and feet is fear of moving forward. It's all very symbolic. It's like God made us that way and we haven't researched it. We just go, you know what? I'm just going to go to the doctor and I'm going to let them cut me open and take out some organs and cross my fingers, hope that works. And it's like, you know, when our body is probably really trying to just tell us something and we just don't know the body's code, but the body's code is almost very predictable. So if somebody has something going on, and it has to do with a lower extremity, it may have to do with fear of the future. And lots of times I can send a list to people that I find when they're struggling with something. I can send a list of things. If I send it to them in a list, it doesn't scare them. If I send it to them in a site, it might not. Depends on how desperate they are. If they're desperate enough to go let someone cut them open with a knife and look around, then they're usually not scared. They'll say, I'll do anything to not have whatever. And so usually the root is something they'll immediately go, oh gosh, abandonment. Yes, that resonates with me strongly. And then they can work through whatever it is, the cause that made them feel abandoned. They can release the feelings. They can apply the opposite of abandonment to themselves and asking Christ to do it. And what I've noticed is doing it that way, it works. Like really high success rate with doing it that way. Yeah, it does. It makes sense that our body talks to us in parables. I'm going to read a comment to myself first really quick and then determine if I'm supposed to read it out loud. Hang on. Crystal, are you okay with me saying that out loud? because I do think it's relevant. Okay. So I'm going to read Crystal's comment. She said, I don't know if this makes sense, but I see an oxygen thing in Jan's nose, and instead of an oxygen tank, I see God blowing into it. I'm breathing life and healing into her, that it's okay to set whatever she is going through down at Jesus' feet. He wants to take whatever is burdening her and release her. And now she was smelling roses. Beautiful. God works like that. Wow. I got chills all over. Ah! Yeah. Thank you, God. Okay. And so now, like, if I were doing a session with someone about this kind of thing, I'd be like, okay, we're going to lift up gratitude for a minute. You know, just like release. There's a release in gratitude. There is something very childlike in gratitude, because when you're a child, especially like if you grew up in a household where your needs were met, it was easy to be grateful. As a very young child, even if you were having your needs met at school or whatever. And so there's something very childlike. And as we grow older, we start thinking, oh gosh, I'm responsible for myself. I have to take care of myself, and I have to protect myself from attacks from other people, attacks of the enemy, whatever. And that's not true. We don't have to protect ourselves. God is faithful and true to do that for us. And so holding on to those types of things are very grown up and not childlike, and they're not grown up in a good way. It's like it's a belief system that we establish around ourselves to wall ourselves up so that we don't get hurt, whatever. I'm just going to tell you, the more you release, especially in an atmosphere like we have going on tonight. Sorry, that was really intense. The more you release tonight, I feel like this atmosphere makes it easier to collectively release, kind of like collectively killing mold. Releasing, and just choosing. Ultimately, a choice to release and let go. Wow. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, that you are the deliverer. God, thank you that you are precious in our hearts, that you created us to be bold, to move forward, to be the light in the darkness. God, thank you for empowering us tonight, I'm going to say that about 10 more times. God, thank you for empowering us, and to not let us stay stuck in the belief that we are only sinners saved by grace. We may be, but that's not all we are. And the more we stay stuck there, the more we stay stuck. So God, we thank you that we are so much more, that we are made literally in your image, Lord. Lord, I know you release. I know, God, you forgive, and I'm made in your image. You forgive, Lord. Thank you, God, that I can be like you and choose. Thank you, God, that you're not like I once was, and choose not to forgive. Thank you, God, that you're not like I once was. God's never going to partner with unforgiveness. If you're like, but God, justify, and he's like, I know, girl, I see you, I love you, but I don't ever go there. I just don't. I'm not sure I know your terminology there, Crystal. Is it something you're willing to do, like unmute and do, or are you able to do that right now? I may have caught you off guard. Okay, you can't right now. That's fine. I don't know if it's something as simple as it sounds. But I will say what popped in my head when I read your comment. And if you get free from where you are and are able to do it, okay. So as we walk into newness of life, as we walk into away from the suit we stepped out of, whatever that is, and as we walk toward God's glorious light, what he has for our future, we shut any old doors behind us and we say, God, put the biggest, gnarliest angel in front of that door. I'm not interested in going back there. I feel lighter. A load is lifted. And I like feeling lighter and free. I feel more mobility in my body because I'm freer. Also, if you are praying specifically for a body part, get up and test it. Move it around. Twist your ankles around. Move your elbows around. Test it. Lots of times it's in the motion that you feel the release. Right now, Holy Spirit fire fall on anybody who's waiting for a release. Letting it go. God, take it. We transmute it to light. We release it. Not interested in going back. Not interested in even looking back. Thankful for the journey and thankful for the future. It's all gratitude. So Jan, the way you're moving around, is it shoulders for you? Okay. So maybe the weight of the world on your shoulders? Yeah. So as you release, the more you release, even in the exhale, there you go. And give it over to God. You can trust. Trust me that he created you and knows. God, we do not partner with logic tonight. Tonight we partner with the majesty, the majestic, the miraculous, the breath of life, inspiration. Like, I can just imagine what she was saying, like you have and you're just breathing in God's inspired relevance about your life, breathing God's truth about your identity. Crystal said, give him the gift of your burdens, worries, and accept his peace, calmness, and destiny that he has written in your book of life. I call perfect vision on those of you who don't have perfect vision. I call perfect hearing right now on those of you who don't have that. I say, no, we don't have arthritis. No one has arthritis. We cancel out all word curses in Jesus' name. Those things fall seedless and fruitless. And right now, we are hardcore focused on 2020 vision this year. I keep seeing the numbers. So that's why I went for eyes. I'm like, I see 2020. So right now, I just call forth in Jesus' mighty name, perfect vision. I call forth perfect breath. I call forth not having to walk out anything that, like, if you've done damage to your body in some way and you know you have, with whatever, I call forth inspired. The inspired means full of his spirit. The inspired breath of God right now over your lungs, over your heart, over your blood, over every bodily organ, over your skin. Thank you, God. Thank you. Right now, I just believe I'm supposed to say, whatever alternative fields of medicine and alternative fields of religion, whatever they have taken and begin to express as truth, God, we ask for clarity on what of those things are actually truth and where it has become tainted to make it alternative or not truth. We would like to reclaim right now. I'm sitting here right now asking, we reclaim for God's kingdom those things that other people have figured out, because I'm going to tell you what I believe happens is people devote their life to a religious system and lots of times walk in burden and tragedy and not the miraculous, and they are surrounded by other people who are doing the same. And the very first time that they're in the presence of someone who seems enlightened, who gives them maybe a word of knowledge about the pain that they have, and they disconnect from and release, and they go, oh gosh, like my pain left when I disconnected from an emotion there. No one ever taught me that in church. And then confusion sets in. I believe it's all God. I'm saying I believe that it's all started that way. And people have looked for truth in other places because lots of time you're not finding relief. You're finding more burdens to carry, more trouble, more all these things in religion. I do not believe that that is the way it is intended to be. And even just by changing my mind on that, by not lining myself up with, well, I guess that's just the way it is. Things have shifted. Right hip. So right now, in Jesus' name, is there somebody, do you think it's yours, Linda, or do you think it's something else? Do you think you're having a pain for another person? Well, you're saying trembling, so I'm going to say, I'm not saying it's necessarily. Okay. So right now, I just release whatever it is that's trembling. We let go of what is not of God, and we take in what is of God. Okay. So I'm just going to throw something out there. Anybody who wants to just repeat this, think about what I'm saying before you repeat it. God, let your light shine through my eyes. God, line me up with supernatural joy. I laugh in the face of the enemy. He has no hold on me. God, let your light shine through my eyes. I line up with supernatural joy in my life. I laugh in the face of the enemy. He has no hold on me. Supernatural joy is part of my identity. Supernatural joy is what I line up with. God, I release weight and baggage right now. I'm okay with being seen. I'm okay with walking in truth. I'm ready. God, I thank you for your light that shines through my eyes. I thank you for the supernatural joy that you are literally planting seeds of right now. Supernatural joy, supernatural joy. The enemy has no hold on me. I laugh with freedom. I release pain. I thank the alarm. I thank you for alarming me. I thank my body right now for alarming me to things I need to release. Whatever it's connected to, I release it and I release the pain with it. God, I thank you that I don't have to walk in logic because you are the God of miracles. I walk in the truth of your light. Y'all, presence is really heavy. I understand some of you may need to go, but I'm just going to keep for just a few more minutes at least. My friend Amber had a dream months ago. We went to a thing where they asked me to speak last couple weekends ago. And I think I told you guys about that I got up there and I couldn't even remember what all I said. And it was because it was local people and I felt out of my element. Jetty was like, you did a great job. And I'm like, I have no idea what I said. But after I spoke, another person got up there and told a vision that they'd had that was almost identical to my friend's dream. In fact, he was about to say the word tidal wave, and my friend and I both knew he's about to say tidal wave because it was the exact same as her dream. Her dream was months ago, and so was the vision he had had. And it kind of solidified the fact that we knew we were supposed to go pray on the state line. And so Sunday, 2 days ago, Sunday, we got in the car and we drove. We only live about 30, 45 minutes from Texas, depending on traffic. We drove to the Red River, and when we got there, I wasn't feeling it. I was just like, I don't know what we're supposed to do. And usually with my friend, we get there and something tells us what we're supposed to do. So we went and we just spent a glorious time together. We went to of all things, there was a vineyard out in the country. And she just wanted to show me the vineyard. She didn't think it would be open, and it was open. And we went and we looked around and we just had a beautiful time. And then we were like, well, maybe this is one of those Bob Jones moments. Like, I don't know if I've told you guys before, probably, where Heidi Baker finally got to meet Bob Jones, and she was one of those people that every spiritual gift she ever gained, she got it from fasting and striving and all these things. And when she met Bob Jones, she was so excited. He's this old prophet, like rocking chair on the front porch prophet, that if you wanted a word, you probably had to go see him on his front porch wearing overalls. And she said, I was so excited to meet him. And the first thing he said was, did you want a word from the Lord? And I was like, yes, like more than anything. She's like, it's going to be so nice to hear something from the Lord that I didn't have to work for. And she said, he looked at me and kind of grinned and said, God said, eat a cookie. She said, I was like, I'm fasting. He goes, God said, eat a cookie. And she's like, Mama, he goes, Mama, go get her a cookie. And so she eats it. She's like, it was delicious. And she said, okay, God. She said, okay. She's ready to get down to business. Like, I really came for a word for real. And so he grins at her and he says, okay, now, are you ready? Do you want another word? And she goes, yes. And he goes, God said, eat another cookie. And she was like, another cookie. Okay. This tells me a lot about her personality, because as she was telling the story, she's talking about the fact that she was striving so hard for everything, striving and trying and all. And God was telling her, lighten up. Lighten up. And I don't know what made me start thinking about that just now. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I was telling the vineyard story. So we were at the vineyard. And I was like, well, I don't know what we were supposed to do. Maybe we're just supposed to come out here and enjoy ourselves. Cross the state line like a couple of girls and just have a good time. I don't know. As we're crossing back across the bridge, I was feeling it. I was like, you know, we should stop right here in the center. And I have my shofar with me, and I get out and blow the most crystal clear. In fact, I'm going to see if I can find it to show you guys. Yeah. So I'm going to show you what the sky looked like. We stopped on the bridge. Let's see. The river. There. The river down below in the sky. And there hadn't been a cloud in the sky all day. There were clouds. The sun was setting. Okay. And we say, I get the shofar out and I blow the most crystal clear, like I'm not a shofar expert by a long shot. But I felt like that was what we were supposed to do. And this is what it sounded like. Oh, hold your horses. I'm sorry. I was trying to turn the volume up and I took a picture instead. I'm acting like a grandma with my phone. Hold on just a second. Okay. Usually it's not easy for me to get that exact tone. Video goes on for a few more seconds. She's showing the sky. Hadn't been a cloud in the sky all day long, and we stood there for about 10 minutes and watched the sunset, and it started pouring buckets of rain. And as we're leaving and the windshield wipers are like, she says, hey, send Jetty a video of the windshield wiper. She goes, show him what we do. Because that happens almost every time we go somewhere with the intention of shifting a frequency, like buckets. And I mean, I'm not saying that that's what would happen if somebody else did it. It might be something totally different that happened. I don't know. I'm just saying we do what God tells us to do. It rained so hard all the way home that Jetty was like, did y'all cause that? It rained into my shop. Like the rain was coming in my shop. And he's like, that doesn't ever happen, right? So I feel like I'm supposed to tell some of you to, go to the winery, go to the vineyard, hang out, have some fun, let God reestablish seeds of joy, supernatural joy, and a release of old emotions that belong to the old you. Let that be behind that door. I don't know if everybody's sweating as much as me, so. Okay. Becky Camp, you okay over there? Just get hot. Yeah, okay. Okay. Just checking in. Okay, anybody have anything? I'm closing down, still open to whatever God wants to do, but just wanted to offer, does anybody have anything else that they would like to express? Anything that they are feeling right now as far as whatever? I'm going to turn on another whole tone. I don't know what this one is, but I'm turning it on. Sorry. Was it the part of the story? Okay. Let me see. Hang on. I don't know why I'm asking you this. Do you know what her blood type is? Yeah, and that's another good question. Christia said, do you think it's her pain? Okay. Do you have negative blood type amongst your family at all, Linda? Okay. Yeah. I'm agreeing with what other people are saying, maybe for her to pray for whoever. First of all, pray for who she has resentment at. In fact, I read today that it says for 10 days to 2 weeks, if you wake up and pray, picture the person as a little child smiling. Picture the person that you're holding a grudge against. Picture them as a small child and they're smiling. And pray for them. They say in 10 days, it will revolutionize. It can do it overnight. So it doesn't have to be like a 10-day thing. But it can happen overnight. It can revolutionize the pain that you are going through because of being unwilling to let it go. Praying for the person. And yes, does she say that they're a pain in her butt? Or does she think that they are? Just releasing. Picture the person. In fact, close your eyes with me. First, I want you to picture Jesus in the room with you. I want you to see him as though he's standing in the room with you right now. Everybody that needs to can do this with us. He's telling you that it is safe to give that all to him. Standing right there in front of you. And I want you to picture these 9 people one at a time, like little kids, walking up to Jesus. God, when you are in the room, it transforms everything. I mean, my first reaction would be to fall on my face. I definitely would not be concerned what was going on around me. I definitely do not want to see anything bad happen to these people. God, that they are little children, and I just let them come right up to you. They probably need your love, Lord. One at a time, just let them walk up. Let Jesus rub them on the head. Hug them. Sit with them in his lap. And release the pain that you've been holding on to. Let Jesus have that too. Tell God you are ready to see with perfect vision. You're ready to hear with crystal clear clarity. Hear and see both in the natural and supernatural. I'm ready. I'm ready to take you by the hand, Lord. God, you know that I have been hurt deeply. I choose as an act of my will to forgive them. They are free, and I am free. And so it is. God, I know she hurt me deeply, but I want to give her to you. I forgive. I choose as an act of my will to forgive her. I'm free. She is free. And so it is. And God, just let your love just wash all over me, all over them. You didn't make me with the ability to carry this type of load and this type of burden. And that's good. I'm okay with not carrying it. I just release it. I just pictured God just turning it into light. How's she feeling now, Linda? She may have to repeat this. Okay, it just has to leave. Just can tell her to continue to let it move on up. She's releasing it. Alternatives would call this their chakras. I'm going to call it she's releasing it. Let it move up. I choose to release. I choose as an act of my will. Imagine breathing it up. If you can follow what I'm saying, KK, just breathe it up. Out of your back. Let's go ahead and make it come out your mouth. It's okay to let it go. It's okay to let it go. I command a release over you right now. Usually the tailbone area has to do with like survival skill, primitive instinct type stuff. Dealing with emotions and hurt from a place of survival, primitively, you know, like, and as you move up, it's transmuting it into more of a way of release and letting God deal with it. If you're not comfortable with breathing it out, let it go straight out the top of your head. Has it moved from her back, Linda? This is better than watching a movie, y'all. Look at Jan's cat. Oh, yeah. It's up higher. There you go. Release. Out. Linda, hug her. I command a higher frequency into her right now. Heaven frequency right now in Jesus' name. The frequency of release. How's everybody else doing on here? You guys doing all right? Crystal, you might be surprised to learn that that is exactly what I visualize. The fact that you see that makes me go,
What did she visualize? Or what did she say?
she said, when you're praying, I see Glinda the Good Witch moving her wand with authority and power. What I see, what I visualized is the bubble that she floats in on, filled with sparkly, gorgeous, whatever. I mean, it's different. Sometimes I see different things when I'm picturing it, but I picture myself inside that bubble with all this gorgeous stuff swirling around. And usually when I'm one-on-one doing healing with someone, I will tell them to put themselves in that bubble and fill it with beauty too, whatever they think is beautiful. And the things that people tell me that they see are everything from purple glitter to snow to the aurora borealis, you know, gold swirl. That's what I go there every time when I do heart coherence. I do that. I've never really put, I'm not saying I've never said that. I've probably told some of you maybe before, I don't know. But I don't usually try to plant seeds in your head if you're good at imagining things yourself. If you're not, you're free to borrow my Glinda bubble. Lots of times I will tell people to breathe in the glitter or the whatever that they're seeing. And people will literally feel something. They'll breathe it in and feel. KK, keep releasing it. You can imagine when I read that, I was like, oh my gosh. Jetty could have told you. I'm telling you, that's how much I could verify it. He could have told you that when I visualize healing, I visualize the Glinda bubble. My sister does too. We usually put ourselves in a bubble together with the person, whoever it is. Wow. And we make a 3-cord strand inside the bubble. It's just a visualization technique. I came up with it. Somebody told me. You know what I'm going to say about that, Linda, and I'm not going to say anything other than just what I'm about to give you some advice. And that is, after the call, let the two of you get together, say prayers for the person, frankincense. I would put frankincense back here at the base of the skull. I would picture the two of yourselves inside a Glinda bubble. Fill it with marvelous light and breathe it in. And even if it takes a few days of you doing this together while you pray for whoever you need to forgive, as you release it, it's not pain that you should have to carry around. Give it to Jesus. Animals, I'm bouncing back and forth here, but animals go out and they gather up all this great energy from the grounding, and then they come in, and if you're off balance, they come up to you, let you pet them. They might do whatever they do, dance all around your head and all the things, and then you are grounded too. Especially in the winter, it's not as easy to go put your feet in the grass in the winter. I was with my friend Amber the other day. She started feeling what she thought was a headache coming on. She has very distinct symptoms. And I basically told her, go out, put your feet in the grass. And her, in the past, headaches, when she has had them, have come with nausea and then followed by throwing up. And that day we went out in the grass, and instead, she's going to love me for telling this, but it's just y'all. But instead, standing in the grass, she started to belch. And then she was like, it's gone. It was gone. From standing, actually, I told her to stand on a patch of clover. Animals have the ability to, if, I don't know if you've ever felt it, but when an animal sits in your lap, especially if it's an inside-outside animal, especially if it's been outside and it comes in and it comes to you, it's trying to ground you. That's what they do. It's like a trade, stepping out of the suit that has tried to hold you hostage. And trading the pain for God's new promises in the future. You don't have to protect yourself. It's a trade, giving Jesus what you don't want and taking instead what you do want. So clover, because that was what was green growing in her yard. The grass, a lot of the grass was dead, but there are patches of clover everywhere. I like to stand in my yard specifically because we don't spray our yard for anything. I let clover grow. I let dandelions grow. In like France, they literally herald dandelions as, miracle medicine, and we call them weeds. It's just mind altering to think the things that we don't really understand. It's like, oh, kill all the bee food. We don't want a bunch of bees. Bees literally make the world go round. And so we don't spray our yard. The neighbors love it. Okay. Well, this has been a long call, but very productive. I pray that those of you who have released things tonight, ask God to post up an angel and not let you go back to those things. Linda, tell her I'm going to keep praying for her, and I'm going to keep imagining the release And she should do that too. She might even have a dream tonight. It won't surprise me if she has a dream tonight about a release, about something moving on, something like that. Maybe even water, something like cleansing, letting go, releasing. All right. Love you guys. I'm going to close this out. See everybody next week. Oh, Christia, what? I'm gonna wait. We already lost one. I don't know who just decided to exit stage left just because I said it was over. That's crazy. Waiting on you, Linda. What are you finna say, lady?
I was just reading what Crystal put. Christia, Elena sees an angel behind your picture with blue and blonde hair.
Oh.
You know what? I think she saw it the last time too. That's my, because she mentioned that before. That's my, here, is she with you? I can't see the chat at the same time.
She got more descriptive.
Here, let me wave at her. I mean, I am in the bed, so. Hi, Elena.
Lori,
Yes.
Chloe wants to tell you something.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweet girl.
Love you.
I love you too.
Thank you, Lori.
Okay, everyone, be blessed. Good night. Love you guys. Have sweet dreams, and I mean it.